I mean, I'm not saying it.
Don't.
I'm not here to say it.
Stop.
I'm not here to say it.
Stop. I know
Johnny said it. I'm not saying that.
Stop.
I would never. Would I ever say that? Someone like me? I would never say that about Ohtani. I would never say that. I learned my lesson. I will never. Okay, I will never say that again about Ohtani.
Ben Fadden is learning the hard way right now. What
is
he posted that exact same thing on social media, and
how'd that go?
It's not going great.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, Johnny. I learned my lesson. Guys, it's the wrap-up show. As you make your way in, please subscribe. I mean, this is the series we've waited for. It's July, and the Padres have swept the series, and they did so against a team that was over 500, and they did so against a team that pitched Shohei Ohtani in this series. They had Mike Trout. I know he got hurt. They had Anthony Rendon. I know he got hurt. This is a good old-fashioned sweep where Josh Hader, I mean, I think is the story here. The fact that Josh Hader was willing, after talking with Ruben Niebla, to pitch a third consecutive day and give you 3 saves in 3 days is something we'll be talking about here tonight. Manny Machado homers, setting a Petco Park record. A good series all around for the Padres, who are 41-46. So if you're here, subscribe. If you're here, smash the like button for us. Thank you for getting us to 5,000 subscribers. Let's get to 5,100 with your help. Follow us on Twitter and Threads.
You're obsessed with Threads now.
I love Threads.
We are entering our Threads era.
Dude, most people here probably know about Threads because you guys are savvy. You're on YouTube. So if you're not following us on Threads, if you haven't downloaded the app while you're here, download the app.
It links up with your Instagram. So
right, if you have
super
Instagram,
easy. Yeah.
I'm at John Schaefer. Jim is at Jim Russell SD, right?
It's the same thing as Twitter, yeah.
And at John and Jim. If you follow John and Jim, I feel like Jim will follow you back. Is that accurate?
Sure, yeah. Follow John and Jim will follow you back.
Okay, so follow at Jim Russell SD, at John Schaefer, and at John and Jim. We'll follow you back on at John and Jim. Thank you for the supers. We see the generous supers that have already rolled in. We'll get to those right off the top here. And thank you for your support of the channel. If you want to become a member, click the join button down below. But they went down in this game early, Jim. They had some big moments, I thought, like the Manny Machado home run, and they won a close game. This is something that's really plagued this team. But Josh Hader for a third consecutive day, to me, is a bit of a turning point for the Padres in their season, especially with him doing it in July.
Yeah, they've won 4 or 5.
Drink.
Yeah, drink. You're already drunk. They won 4 or 5. They
played on Threads.
Yeah, you are drunk on Threads. Jesus. You're getting like 75,000 notifications from John. He's already threaded, like, is that what it's called now?
More than anyone. I have like a thread record.
Like, he's threaded like probably 35 times in the span of an hour. That has to be a record.
It may be.
And by the way, right now in the chat, put a broom emoji for the sweep. All right.
I like that.
Emoji in the chat for the sweep. Is my chat working? Is your chat working, John?
What do you mean chat?
Okay, here we go. Yeah, in the chat, put a broom emoji for the sweep. Sometimes it's you get an opportunity to play a team that's not playing well, and you have to take advantage of it. And that's exactly what happened in this series with the Angels. They were coming in here kind of a skid.
Yeah, they weren't playing great. They weren't playing terribly, but they weren't playing great.
But they did. It's about a 2-week stretch where they weren't not playing well at all. And the only time they would win games is when Ohtani was pitching. And then he got hurt with his fingernail. But all in all, they took advantage of the Angels coming in here and not playing their best baseball. Finally, getting a much-needed sweep. And you're right. We'll get to the Josh Hader stuff. That, to me, is the number one story out of tonight's game. But I put on Twitter, not Threads yet, but on Twitter.
What's Twitter?
You hate it now. My thoughts after this game, other than Josh Hader, is good. Now go sweep the Mets. Like, continue this. Now, the Mets are playing good baseball as well. So
yeah,
it's going to be an interesting series this weekend because you got two of the most underperforming, or two teams that are dubbed the most underperforming disappointments this year. And they're both now playing good baseball. So it's going to be fun to see this weekend. But yeah, that's my thought process here. And that's how I take after every single win is like, good, now go win tomorrow. Good, now go sweep the Mets, because they're still 5 games under. And until they get over 500, I'm just going to be waiting and waiting and waiting. And yes, they might be playing really good baseball right now, but it's a 5-game stretch. I need to see this for like a 3-week stretch, and then I'll be happy.
couple of things. You're accurate. And of course they're not going to sweep every series, and they won't win every series.
No. Win series is the number one thing,
They
right?
need to win this series against the Mets. They really do. I mean, a 5-1 homestand, yeah, they'd be 4 games under 500, but a 5-1 homestand into the break sends a message that, hey, they have a legitimate threat to make a run in the second half. If they take a step back here and lose 2 out of 3 to the Mets or worse, you're not going to feel good about it. And you're not going to feel great about it either way, but you're really not going to feel good about it if they lose a series to the Mets. Beat the Mets in a 3-game series, like take 2 out of 3, and you go 5-1 at home, and you feel decent. I mean, you don't feel great, but you feel decent about where the Padres are heading into the break at 4 games under 500, knowing that a run is at least possible. And you say maybe the All-Star break is not coming at the right time, by the way, for this team. Retod, thank you. Very generous. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Thank you guys if you're here. Appreciate the support. Click the $ below the chat box. As you know, we get to every single super. It's a great way to interact with the channel, support our work, and control the direction of the conversation as well. Retod says, rally all the way to the All-Star break. LFGSD AFIDA. I love that, Retod.
I like it. I like it.
And to your point, though, I would say this. My turning point, Drink, is actually losing to the Reds in game 1 in Cincinnati.
I agree.
I'd say those 6 games, the 3 we've seen here, the 3 in Cincinnati, say, well, what are you talking about? They lost 2 out of 3 in Cincinnati. It was an abject failure the way they lost Friday and Sunday. No. Friday, they showed me something, scoring in extra innings multiple times. It was just Heartbreak City. Sunday, they showed me something, not rolling over, going down 2-0, scoring twice in the 8th, scoring again in the 9th, hitting a liner from Odor to end the game in a 4-3 loss. So I'd say the last 6 games for me are encouraging. Now they're 4-2. It's not the greatest record of all time, but that to me has me encouraged, the last 6 games.
100%. If you watched every inning of that series, which I did, I would say, you saw things in that series that you didn't see them do all year long, which is something that we were criticizing them heavily for, which was the no fight. I mean, up until last Friday night, that was like the first time this team showed legitimate fight, I thought, all year long that I can like truly remember. And it carried over to a blowout win on Saturday. And then Sunday, you're facing Abbott, who's one of the best rookie pitchers in baseball right now for the Reds. And you're thinking to yourself, fuck, here we go again. But then they late in the game, it's like, okay, 2 back-to-back homers, and then they get that tying run on second. No moral victories, absolutely not.
Yep.
But you saw things that they weren't doing all year long. And it translated into sweeping the Angels here. And something that you brought up today on John and Jim that we've been saying all year and even last year is this team goes as Manny goes. And for the first 2 months of the season, it was horseshit. He was horrible. But as you pointed out today, his last month has been good. Now it has not translated into a good record. I agree.
Yeah.
It's been kind of one of those slow burns, right?
Yep.
It hasn't been this crazy Machado hot streak that we've seen before. But I would say that this series against the Angels, you saw a different Manny Machado. And it's no coincidence that they got the sweep. Also, it's kind of funny what happens when you hit with runners in scoring position, right?
They've done that for the last 2 weeks.
Kind of opens everything up. And they've done that. But now it's about being consistent and building off of this. One thing that does kind of scare me, though, John, is the fact that you are now just getting this momentum, and it feels like this is the Padres that we've all been waiting for all year long. And as soon as that happens, boom, All-Star break, and right into a 10-game road trip. So it's like, I don't care what people say. I do think that there is such thing as momentum in baseball. You get some old, old time media people in this town that say that momentum's not a thing. It's only as good as the next day pitcher. And that's right to an extent, but I do think momentum in the regular season can be a thing.
Well, a couple of things. They weren't dealt this hand. They dealt this hand to themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's first and foremost.
Position.
Secondly, yeah, the 10-game road trip isn't ideal, but honestly, I think if you're going to get it in the second half, might as well get it right out of the break. Because let me put it this way. If they can go on those 10 games, Philadelphia, Toronto, Detroit, win 6 of them, You say, you know what? Padres have actually played good baseball. They go into the break winning 5-6 if it happens. They come out 6-4 on the road. And all of a sudden, they're like a 500 team, and it's like it's a marathon. It's a sprint. You got 60 games to the finish line. You're going to have work to do, but you haven't buried yourself. If you can get out of those 10 games, if you can get through this series 2-1, if you get out of those 10 games with 5 or 6 wins, I mean, again, I know it's not ideal. They're going to be a handful of games out if that happens for the last wildcard spot, but just a handful. I mean, even today, where are they right now? Yesterday, they were 7 out. Are they still 7 out of a playoff spot? Are they 6 out?
Well, the Giants won tonight. I don't know if the Dodgers win.
I mean, they're 6 out of a playoff spot. Again, it's not dreamy. It's not what we all thought of, but they've made up 2.5 games in like 3 days. So again, it's not. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not. They're not going 81-81 and making the postseason. They're not. The last wild card spot right now is 7 games over 500. So they have real work to do. But I'm telling you, folks, if they can go 2-1 here against the Mets and 6-4 on that road trip, again, there's a long way to go between now and then. They'll at least have a crack at it. They'll be 4, 5, 6 games out with 60 something to play, and it'll be on them to play good baseball. Let's get to some of these supers that have rolled in, like from our buddy Carlos. Carlos, thank you so much for your support of the channel. If you'd like to support the channel, click the $ below the chat box. We really do appreciate it. Great way to support our work. Great way to comment as well tonight. He says the series was an FU. Told the Twitter GMs, Jim, that said we needed to sell. Too early to get over our heads. It's not over, in my opinion, but it will be tough.
Carlos, bro, I mean, let's be real here. Weren't you on Friday night when they've lost to the Reds? Like, wasn't everybody here kind of in the same boat? Like, I don't think anybody here
was saying bye.
Nobody was saying bye. Like, nobody. When we were all saying, look, if they turn this around, and they could, then yeah, you buy, but it's trending towards that you got to sell. So don't say to everybody that everybody was wrong here. Like, that's not how this works. Things change. Okay. At the time of Friday night, even Sunday night, it was sell. And I still think that as of right now, you're leaning sell because they still are under 500 and they still need to play better baseball for a prolonged stretch. But like, no, dude, you can't do that. No.
Well, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I think it's lean sell. Fangraphs is 29.7% chance the Padres make the postseason. Well, Fangraphs has been wrong a lot, right? Like Weatherman, they've said they have a 95% chance and don't make it, or they'll say they have a 20% chance and maybe they do make it. There's too much baseball here to fully put a stamp on it. And actually, I was critical of AJ Preller saying we could pivot to sell. And still, I think the position that you're set in is selling, but that position could change. But he said, hey, we could pivot to sell if we need to. Teams just got to play good baseball for 3 weeks. And if they do, they'll put pressure on the general manager not to sell and to ultimately buy or certainly stand pat. But, I think if it's a 500 team, Jim, which isn't that crazy, like if they go 2-1 against the Mets and, they find a way to be, 500 team at the end of July or early August, I mean, it's not. I'd be surprised if they sold at 500. Now, you could argue if that's good or not for the franchise. You could say, man, by making this run in July, if they just set themselves back because they're following a path that is 1 month of good baseball, but what about the previous 3 months of bad baseball? Like, is this the path they should be following? Should they sell off Josh Hader and Blake Snell and think about 2024? But I think you owe it to the fan base. If this is a 500 team and it's August 1st, they're going to keep Blake Snell and Josh Hader and take their chances. That's what's going to happen.
Like, come on. Yes, a sweep has been great. It's just 3 games, and they're come on, Carlos. don't be blaming other people for thinking at the time. Yeah, you need to sell because everybody was thinking it, probably you included.
All right, let's get back to it. I
still think that too. You're 5 games under 500. Talk to me when you're over 500.
I mean, listen, they absolutely could be sellers, but even if there's a 30% chance they're not sellers, that's a high likelihood. You know my line. Would you get on a plane that had a 30% chance of crashing, Jim? Well, you might, but I wouldn't. So 30% is a big percentage.
If you're AJ Preller, you still need at this point in time, okay, can't be hung up on just 3 games. or a 5-game stretch. You need to be ready for all scenarios. That if this team, that which I'm dubbing the make or break road trip of the season, because it's going to, I think,
Well, it has
determine
to be 10 games is so many.
I think it's going to determine if you actually really are sellers or not. You need to be ready for that scenario and situation. I don't want to hear it, if they win tomorrow night that they're 100% buyers. Like,
Right.
again,
Or if they lose tomorrow night, they're 100% sellers.
like, I think the right thing to do is say they should be leaning one way just because of how they played. And until they prove it otherwise, then you can pivot to, okay, we're going to be actually buyers here because this team showed this month they do have it in them, but until that's happened, I'm leaning sell because you're still 5 under and you got to show me more than just 3 games.
Yeah, I would lean sell, but I would leave open a very realistic possibility that things can change, and that's on the Padres right now. And it's on nights like tonight where Josh Hader decides, you know what, enough's enough. Let's shut these people up, like John and Jim. Seriously, I mean, let's change the narrative here. This whole, well, Josh Hader, he won't pitch 3 consecutive days. Well, now he will, so maybe he'll do it again. Carlos, thank you again. He says bullpen equals really concerning. Nick, garbage Martinez maybe needs Suarez. There's no question. They need Steven Wilson. Now. Of course, they need Robert Suarez, but who knows what he's going to look like? I mean, it's going to be when. I mean, I can't trust Suarez out of the gates because it's going to be 100 games. They need Steven Wilson is who they need. They need Martinez to be better, and they need Hader to have a willingness to do this again in August and/or September.
Yeah, the bullpen's a problem. It just is. I will say, though, a bright spot in the bullpen for sure that has been a big surprise is Tom Cosgrove. I mean, that guy he's
had some big moments.
I mean, he made Ohtani look silly in this series, and not many people make Ohtani look like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just against Ohtani. He's been lights out for everybody he's faced. So if you can get Cosgrove, a healthy Steven Wilson, a healthy Robert Suarez, Josh Hader, you get Nick Martinez back on track. That's a pretty good 5 right there, and you have guys that like Tim Hill's proven it, even though he's been the thing with Tim Hill right now, he's been taxed like a motherfucker. So of course he's not going to look great, but he's still proven that he can get big outs in big situations. It's there. It's just, hopefully it's not too late before they get back. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I do.
Like when you see them all at their full strength, when you see this bullpen at full strength, hopefully it's not too late.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And it's possible because the Suarez thing, I just don't know. And Wilson, I don't know. It's a possibility. It's a concern. I mean, if there's a real concern, the bullpen like yesterday, an 8-1 lead, you have to use Josh Hader. And to Hader's credit, he goes 3 times in 3 days and picks up 3 saves. But yesterday was unnecessary based on the way the bullpen pitched before he came in. Retod, thank you again. Really appreciate your support of our work. He says Padres' best month ever was 18-7, 1998. We need July to be better than that. Our last 3 before and first 3 after break are huge as far as momentum building. I would say the first 4 after the break, because it's a 4-game series in Philadelphia, including a split doubleheader, I think, a day-night doubleheader. That's my assumption.
On the Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, in Philadelphia. So I would say those 4. I wouldn't look at it as 3. I'd say these next 7, Mets and Phillies, NL East, Mets playing better. Phillies have played really good baseball for the better part of the last 6 weeks. I'd say these 7 are important to be over 500, not under 500 in this 7-game stretch.
Didn't they go 18-7 to start out the 2021 season? I want to say
just
that
overall,
like the first month of the year was one of the best months in Padres history.
They were great out of the gates in 2021 and 2022.
Yeah,
they were really good.
They were really good,
they were 15 over, and then they treaded water until the end.
It's not crazy that this team's, if their numbers are right, that the best stretch ever for a month is 18-7 in 98.
If you looked at it as a month, but I wonder if you took it from like mid-May to mid-June.
Oh, like better stretches.
It could have been 19-3.
Potentially. But that's what it's going to take. And you look at what the Braves are doing right now. They're 24-3 or 23-4 during a 27 or 28 game stretch here. Like that is maybe not to that level, but I mean, you got to be like we said, the 26 games in July or the 26 games up until the All-Star break, like 20-6. Like you do that, now we're talking. But again, baby steps, and 3 games is nice, but
No, you're right. That's you're
you
measured
gotta
because you're right.
go.
It's 3 games. We've seen. I
Yeah.
mean, if we're gonna pretend like they've won the World Series, then we're gonna pretend like everything was lost when they got swept by the Pirates, which we did pretend. I mean, we did say,
Yeah.
sky is falling, and now do we say the opposite?
Because they looked horrible.
Sky isn't
They
falling.
looked horrible. Like, what would
They
give us any
did.
other reason to believe that they were gonna turn it around?
You're 100% right, but here's
Blind
the thing.
faith?
As I've said all the time with baseball, is like you have so many chances to pick yourself back up. This isn't 1950 where one team wins the pennant
Mhm.
in the regular season. You have so many chances now to pick yourself up, and with 162, unlike football, you can fail for 80 games,
Right.
and you could still be half decent at the end and make your way, into the postseason. I'm not saying that's the case with the Padres or not, but again, if this was 20 years ago with one wild card, you'd be like, they're going to be cooked. If this is 40 years ago, they're done
Mhm.
in a division. They're just done, but it's not. So they're alive. That's
And
just a fact.
I think why it just felt, and it's, it just like, look, what has this group of players and team done? Nothing. They've proven nothing. They haven't been together for a long period of time. They haven't won jack shit. Nothing. They haven't proved anything. So it's like when Friday night happens last week, and even Sunday happens, you're like, there's nothing to fall back on with this team to make you say they've done it before, so I have faith in them they can do it again. And that's the toughest part about watching the 2023 Padres is there's none of that with them. So you're literally going off of blind faith that they turn this around. And that to me is like, it's a hard thing to do because I'm a visual. I need to see it to believe it. And they started out well here, sweeping the first 3-game series of the year, but like continue to do it. And then we'll talk.
I don't think it's a blind faith situation. I'll tell you why. Because we saw this team, like to Manny's point with Marty yesterday, if you missed it, her pregame conversation with Manny, where he was asked about the clubhouse dynamic, and he said, the clubhouse is great. Now, that may or may not be accurate, but that's not my point. His point that, hey, this is the same team as last year. We've just added to it. It's like there's a lot of the same faces in here. We've underperformed. He said, I have, others have. So, and I know you kind of hate track record, but track record with the Machado, who's played well for 30 games, track record with the Bogarts, who's been better, track record with the Soto, who's been way better this year than he was last year. It's like we've seen these guys perform. Like, is it that much of a leap of faith to see this offense play better? Jake Cronenworth play better than he has. Return to form or return to the mean, so to speak. The runners with scoring position stat where they've been better for 2 weeks. Maybe they were just due.
Yeah. And I think every team in baseball, no matter how shitty you are, has a stretch. I mean, the A's won 9 in a row this year. Like,
is it 9?
Yeah, like the teams have stretches, even if you suck. But like it's got to be a sustained stretch. It's got to be like 2.5 months of really fucking good baseball, really good baseball, because you have a bunch of teams in front of you. You just do. And I don't think it's a good idea to count on collapses of other teams like was like what happened last year. It's just not a good strategy at all. So that's why feels like such an uphill battle is like, okay, well, now the Padres have to rely on the Phillies, the Brewers, the Giants, and the Dodgers to all just collapse.
No, and that's not right. And here's the thing. And what you're saying is right. Your point is valid. You've dug yourself a hole. They don't need those teams to collapse. The Phillies could play 500 baseball.
Right. Okay.
And if the Padres play 6 games better than that, they pass the Phillies.
I don't mean like fully collapse. I mean all 4 of those teams have to play worse baseball than they played all year long, and the Padres have to be better than all of them.
Okay, you got to pass 2 teams right now. Milwaukee, and you got to pass 3. Milwaukee, San Francisco, and Philadelphia, hypothetically. Okay. So how do you do that? Well, yeah, you'd have to play good baseball.
You have to pass. Who do you have to pass? You have to fill up Milwaukee,
San Francisco, and Philadelphia. That's it.
Oh yeah, because the Dodgers are the fifth
Yeah, they
seed.
would be the second
Okay,
wild
I thought there
card.
was 6 seed. My bad.
So again, is that easy? No, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like that's easy. Your point's valid. If Philadelphia goes, whatever, 50 and 30 in the second half, bye-bye. Season's over,
Yeah.
If San Francisco goes 50 and 30 in the second half, bye-bye, season's over because you're not going to outplay them by 6 games. But
So you
if
better
these
hope those
teams are
teams don't
good,
play
not
well.
great, if these teams are good, not great, and you're great, it leaves open the door of possibility. Brouhaha, thank you for your membership. Thank you for super. Appreciate you hanging out, man. He says, have you guys noticed players who either score or get out talking to an on-deck hitter about what they saw on their at-bat more often recently? Okay, you're talking about camaraderie.
Mhm.
Seems to coincide with the offense starting to click. Thoughts? Has this team showed more camaraderie in the dugout, in the batter's box, in the on-deck circle with each other? I just think they've played better. I think offensively they've been half decent since the 1st of June. And I think you're seeing it in bits and pieces. And of course, you're seeing it a little more when they're winning, is what I would say. I don't think we saw it in Pittsburgh last week. We wouldn't have said that, but maybe since Pittsburgh.
Well, brouhaha, you might be thinking like people reading this comment be like, dude, what are you talking about? But if you go back earlier in the year, if you remember a quote from Bob Melvin, and it was very interesting at the time, I think you pointed it out. Like he said something along the lines of players need to start helping each other out, right? Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
So to Brouhaha's point, yes, I think, and I haven't noticed it because I don't pay attention. I just feel like all teams would do that, right? All hitters would help each other out. Like your team, if some guy needs help, you help him.
Mm-hmm.
But hearing Bob Melvin earlier this year kind of point that out, like, hey, we need to all help each other, and we need to all, hey, if some guy has something on the pitcher, then they need to help everybody else out. So could be a good point. Like, these guys are actually now buying in and pulling on the same rope instead of going their separate ways, which it kind of felt like early in the year. So yeah, maybe it's a thing.
Right. And again, I'm with Brouhaha's point and yours. Like, it's taken way too long. There's
Way
no
too long.
excuse for that. I mean,
Yeah, it's a joke.
it is inexcusable, but that doesn't mean that because they've gotten to it late, all is lost. Again, that's to my point here, where it's like, yeah, you're going to have to play good baseball, but if this was 10 years ago, you're cooked. And it's not 10 years ago. So you're not cooked and the door is cracked open. Nate, thank you. Nate P says, if Manny and X had just played to their career averages up to this point, how different does the season look? Would we still be calling for AJ's head?
Well, coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Exactly. Probably not, by the way. If they're a 500 team, they're a 500 team. Wouldn't be perfect, but you'd say, well, they could still do it. They're 3 games out, 2 games out.
Yeah, if I had the voice, like who's
Yeah,
somebody in radio that has like amazing voice.
I've always thought John Sterling.
If I
John
had the voice,
Facenda, NFL Films back in the day.
if I had the voice like John Facenda, I'd
Vin
be a better.
Scully.
If I had a voice like Vin Scully in his prime, maybe I'd be a better radio host.
You would.
Probably not.
You
Probably
would.
not. But you know what I mean? It's like,
if you know how to read, you'd be a better like radio host.
that's also true. Start small, work your way up.
So Nate, but to Nate's point, now can they play better in the second half? And does that help AJ? And does that? Yeah, they can play better, but they got to play real well.
Like they need to play, as we said, the best stretch of baseball that this franchise has seen in a long time.
It'll be a good story if it happens. And it'll be a bad story if it doesn't. I mean, it's going to be, there's going to be real repercussions if this team misses the postseason, you would think. Carlos, thank you. Says, never said they should sell Snell and Hader. Unlike that Auntie Get Your Poodle guy from Twitter that said Padres was a toxic place, etc. You ride it out. Is that what stems from the whole Machado being asked about it and Clubhouse dynamic?
From the like Twitter, from that picture that said dad from dad?
Follow that.
Well, I'm on Threads now, so I don't know what's happening on Twitter.
You're such an idiot.
I think it would be, what's a word? Malpractice?
That is a word.
Okay. If they're at the deadline and they're 6 or 7 out and they don't
sell. Yeah, no, I'm on board. I'm on board with that. If there's 6, if it's
6
today, If
Yes.
it's today and we fast forward 3.5 weeks and they're trailing those same teams by the same margin, and then you do the math on it, I buy what you're selling. Now, if they can get to within 4, okay, and it's only 2 games.
4 and under, you either buy or you stand pat.
Exactly,
6 and
that's what I'm
over,
saying.
you got to sell. I think
But that's
that's
what I'm
the
saying. They only
number.
have to make up 2 games. Again,
Okay.
not the easiest thing in the world, maybe, but it can be done.
You just got to keep your options open, man. Because if they go into the second half and say they're playing hot baseball up at the trade deadline and they stand pat, they don't do anything, or they get a reliever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the team goes in the tank again. It's like, fuck, we just missed our opportunity
No doubt.
to get something there. So
that's
you
the
have to
risk.
be one, banking on them playing hot baseball for the rest of the season and hope that carries. And 2, that they're in a position to think and try to bank on them playing hot baseball for the rest of the season. So there's twofold here. You're playing like 2 seasons here. And right now you're in a sprint to the deadline to make sure you give the front office enough faith in you guys to either one buy or stand pat to try to make a run at this thing. And if you don't, then Preller's going to need to make a call, even though we've all talked about, do you even want him to do that? If they're going to end up trying to get something, and they would get a lot for Hader and Snell.
All right, we want to remind you about our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz, because we're not doing this every single night without Mark helping to get this channel off the ground 2 years ago. And he's a great insurance agent. You can take it from us. I've had a homeowner's, earthquake, life insurance policy through Mark for the better part of 2 years. I picked up the life insurance policy at some point in the last 6 months, in all likelihood. But Mark's an amazing insurance agent. He can save you money, $750 or more. And he's a San Diegan, lifelong native San Diegan, lifelong Padres fan, huge supporter of our channel. If you support this channel, please support Mark Nimitz. How? The next time you have a renewal, just call Mark. We'll talk to you about the Padres. We'll talk to you about saving $750 or more on your insurance. And if you ever have a claim, he's going to save you time and money, because I had it last year and he took care of everything for us. It would have been a complete disaster. And Mark made it seamless and easy. Auto, home, business, life, renters, condo, earthquake, whatever it is. Okay. You can get a quote online. Click the link in the description down below. Get a quote, free quote online, or just call Mark, because he's been so great to this channel. I know our listeners want to support our partners. So the next time you have a renewal, before you just renew, call Mark. If you need a new policy, let's say you're looking for a life insurance policy, you're looking for a homeowner's insurance policy, just call Mark. He'll give you your options. He's a great insurance agent with great service and communication. He's our title sponsor. If you support this channel, please support our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz.
Yeah, all his information is above my head. mnimitz@farmersagent.com. When you reach out to him, let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap-Up Show sent you.
All right, let's get back to some of these supers, guys. Padres over the Angels. They sweep a series, their first 3-game sweep of the year. They'll get the Mets on Friday, so the day off, and then they'll get the Mets on Friday, trying to finish this quote-unquote first half or into the break by going 5-1 or better, potentially. Let's get to Murray. Murray, thank you. He says, finally succeeded with Super Chat. God bless, guys. Murray, thank you. Seriously, very kind of you to interact and send the super. We really do appreciate it. We really do. And again, if you're here, please subscribe. Past 5,000 subscribers at some point in the last week. If you're here, find us on Twitter and whatever the other thing's called. What's the other thing called?
Come on, you can do it.
Friends, Threads. Find us on Friends and Threads.
I'm going to make an app called Friends.
Friends would be good. Find us on Threads, at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. We're there right now. We're interacting with you. I'm getting notifications that I don't even know what's happening.
I'm literally, my phone's just like,
I've got to turn off the notifications.
I have to turn that off too.
Have to. Coming soon. But find us on Threads and follow us. We'll get a notification. And if you follow at John and Jim on Friends, we will follow you back as well.
We have something here that I think we should point out after this super chat from Carlos.
Yeah. Okay. I like that tease. Carlos, thanks again. He says, seen crazier things in baseball. We have the talent on the roster. You have to ride the season out and trust players. Talent prevails in big samples. I mean, to Carlos's point, and this has happened, I'll just give you an example. 07 Mets, 7.5 game lead with 17th to play. And they blew it. Just like that.
You blew it.
Phillies went 15-2 or something. I mean, it happens. 64, right? The collapse. I mean, it does happen. It might not happen every year, but it does happen. And Carlos, I think it's a good point. You got to play the thing out. I mean, there's a zillion games left. That doesn't mean that they're going to play great baseball, but there's enough time for them to play great baseball and make the first half a mute point, and we'll see if they do it or not.
We'll see. Hopefully they do. I mean, they finished the first half, 7 or 8 games under?
Yeah, I mean, they were 8 under 3 days ago. That was the low point.
You got to play around 20 games over the second half.
Yeah, something like that.
20. I mean, that's what they got to do. They got to play 20 games over 500 for the rest of the season. Quickly, it looks like somebody, Brouhaha, has gifted a membership to one of our loyal
How'd you figure
viewers
this out?
of the wrap-up show, because Faye said that Brouhaha gifted her a membership. Faye should be a member from the beginning. By the way, is John freezing? Because he's freezing on my end. Or am I freezing? Am I the problem? Am I the problem?
Freezing?
Am I the issue right now?
I don't see myself freezing.
Well, you are freezing, John.
Okay, a couple of things. This is first of all, Faye is a deserving member because Faye is a loyal viewer. Faye's been with us for the good times, the bad times. Is that a new, what is that? Like a headshot for Faye, by the way?
Oh, Brouhaha gifted 10 people memberships.
Oh my gosh. Can we please get 10 clap emojis from everyone in the chat for Brouhaha? We never talk about this. If you're a member and you want to gift memberships to our loyal viewers, you can do that. I have no clue how you do it. By the way, if you're a member, you get custom emojis and badges and not really exclusive content because we don't really do that, but theoretically you get some exclusive content. But you do get the emojis that says Jim sucks, and you get the badges to show your tenure and your support of the channel. So 10 memberships have been gifted by Brouhaha. That's very generous.
Real quick before we continue.
No, we're not continuing yet. This has changed everything.
Who is freezing? Is it John or is it me?
Yeah,
because
that.
John on my end is
I've got a new
fucking
computer.
Train wreck right now.
I got a new computer. Your computer sucks.
That's great. Who is messing up right now?
No one is.
Is it me or is it John? Or am I just seeing things?
It's just your computer, you idiot. Yes, nobody. Big Yon SD. Nobody's. It's just you. Neither. Nobody.
Okay.
Gosh, stop ruining the show.
Sorry. Congratulations to all of our new members, by the way.
Okay. If anyone wants to match Brouhaha, by the way, if you're a member and you want to give some memberships out there, don't be scared. We appreciate Brouhaha. That's very generous. Faye, new members, congrats. Welcome to the club. Padres tonight over the Angels. We're celebrating. We appreciate the supers. We appreciate your support. Let's get to Juan Soto walks. No.
Hold on. I'm exiting out. This is fucking annoying. This is so freaking stupid.
Just when good things happen, a sweep, gifted memberships, everything's going right. And Jim's like, Jim. It's Jim. It's flat out Jim. It's Jim. Was Jim the bad egg? And the answer is yes. Jim's the bad egg. That's the issue right now. Juan Soto. I don't think so about Cruz. I really don't. I mean, highly regarded player. Hall of Fame career, if not for the PD suspension. I mean, managing a WBC roster, I just don't see it. Let's get Jim back in here. Is it still happening?
I don't know.
Hold on. All is right with the world. You're on the left. I'm on the right.
I don't know.
Just deal with it. Be a man.
Okay, fine. I'll deal with you. Go.
That's your computer, dude. Buy a new computer like I did. Drop $2K. You got it. You're getting married. Just put it on the expense report. She won't even see it.
Okay.
Right. Talk to Aaron. I said, let me get back to this. HBVV, thank you. Buck, get ready to get booed. I hope Joe pitches. Yeah, when's Musgrove's next outing? That's great. This is a great super.
Saturday.
Wow. Is he going to shove?
Yes. Musgrove has been amazing. Really, I mean, you look at his last 10 starts or so. I think go back to the Friday night in New York versus the Yankees. Since then, he's been fucking amazing. Him and Snell have been they've just been him, Snell, Waka, and Luga, and they've been amazing.
So like all the starting pitchers,
like everybody, and then Darvish I think is going to start Friday, and then TBD on Sunday.
Yeah, when's the last time we haven't seen Darvish in like a month?
He's got the bubble guts.
He's got the Michael Jordan flu game we're going to need from him.
Yeah.
This weekend. All right, guys. If you are here, we remind you about our partners here on the wrap-up show. We just told you about Mark Nimitz, our title sponsor. I do want to remind you about Aura. our good friends at Aura, the co-founder Will, lifelong supporter of the Padres, native San Diego, offices for Aura right here in Liberty Station in San Diego. And they still have the Independence Day sale going on right now. You got about 2 hours. It ends at midnight. 25% off with code USA25. All of their products are plant-based. Every single one of their nutritional products are plant-based, whether it's the probiotic I've told you about for a year that I take for digestion and a million other reasons, or if it's their pre-workout supplements or their proteins for after workouts or their omega-3 oils, not fish oil, because they're plant-based. It's an omega-3 oil. They've got sleep pills and immunity pills. It's a great company with great products. And if you're looking to get healthier, you got to get to ora.organic. Again, 25% off with code USA25, or click the link in the description down below. Will's been great to this channel. This is a great, great company. If you're looking to get healthier, yourself, your spouse, your family, your friends, make sure to check them out. Browse as you watch the wrap-up show or listen to the wrap-up show, the podcast version, ora.organic, or click the link in the description down below.
Yeah, go to Aura right now, www.ora.organic. Pick up some of their supplements, all plant-based, organic, healthiest on the market. Summertime right now, so if you want to get that summer bod going, you want to get some supplements to take, then go to Aura right now, pick up some stuff, feel better about yourself, you'll be healthier, and you'll definitely thank us later.
I had kind of forgotten the Musgrove dynamic with the Mets. I mean, how could you forget? But I kind of like that. I feel like that's another feather in the Padres' cap, facing the Mets with Joe Musgrove pitching at Petco.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like he'll be motivated as he was last October.
Dude. I never have a problem with motivation for Joe. I just never do. He is the one guy on the staff. Like I said, give me a must-win game, I'm putting Joe on the mound, regardless. Like regardless of how well Snell may be pitching or any other, I'm putting Musgrove on the mound. I just want him to be out there in a must-win situation.
Yeah, that's a good point. Padres tonight, by the way, 5 hits, right? I mean, they only had 5 hits in this game, but you look at, what they did again on the mound.
They got a couple runs get to them too, which is nice.
They did, but they also got, a home run from Manny Machado, who's shown more power. And then what also happened here tonight was you look at, Cosgrove you talked about, and then Hader. I mean, Hader's got 20 saves and a 1.11
We haven't even
ERA.
talked about Hader yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a 1.11 ERA. Now, remember, pregame, Bob Melvin was basically like, talk to Josh. I'm paraphrasing. He's like, I wouldn't expect him to be available for a third consecutive day because he hasn't previously been available for a third consecutive day, and his workload has been fairly significant. Well, all of a sudden, to everyone's surprise, out trots Josh Hader for a 9th inning in a 5-3 game, which is a lot better than Luis Garcia, you would think. And then he preserves, the lead and picks up his 20th save. And then Bob Melvin, asked about a postgame, said that was Ruben Niebla. So the relationship between Ruben and Josh, putting Hader on the mound there in the 9th inning, a guy that's in a walk year, free agent, nothing guaranteed beyond 2023, maybe putting his team above his own free agency, possibilities come October. So I credit Josh Hader for pitching tonight because it might have been the difference between winning and losing.
What do you think Ruben Niebla said to Josh Hader?
Be a man.
Be a fucking man.
No, I mean, I think he said, you got an off day Thursday and the All-Star break is next week, and we used you for 7 1/3 innings last month. We got it. We're going to pick up the workload a little bit. I'm not asking you to do this for the next 80 games, but I am asking you if you're available to do it tonight. That's my guess.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
I think he said, I've been good by you. I haven't put you in any spot to jeopardize you. I've been good by you. I don't think we're jeopardizing you. Tell me if I'm wrong. But tonight, if there's a night you're going to go 3 for 3, tonight's the night.
I agree. I think, you have a point in your season where, like, the saying of pulling on the same rope, you hear that a lot in baseball.
Yep.
If you're not all pulling on the same rope here, then there's the door. Like, leave. We're not asking you to go out there and throw every night, but we are asking you to maybe contribute just a little bit more. Like, maybe get out of your comfort zone just a little bit. We'll take care of you. We're not going to put you in a situation where you're not fully comfortable with. But, like, 3 days in a row, you have an off day tomorrow. Like, I mean, come on, man. You like this? It's go time. Like, let's go. You want to be viewed as the best closer in the game. Sometimes you got to do things that you don't really maybe want to do. And tonight was a perfect example of that. Pitching 3 days in a row. You got to go out there and do that. You just have to. He's not going to be doing this all the time. It's not like he's going to get a rest tomorrow, which
It'll
obviously
happen
they are.
2 times.
And then he's going to pitch every game of this weekend against the Mets. It just won't happen. But like, I mean, late August, September, like, hey man, if we're in a must-win situation, like you got to go out there, dude. You just have to. So start now and get yourself ready for the stretch. If we are going to be playing good baseball and if we're going to keep you.
Yeah, this isn't going to happen a lot. I completely agree with that. But even if it's going to happen infrequently, tonight's the night to do it. And it really is. I mean, there's a million reasons to go for it right now. With the All-Star break coming up and you get the rest coming up, you're taking on a wounded Angels team. Don't lose this game. And by the way, I saw what happened yesterday. You pitch someone else, you lose. You can. Because they had a large lead yesterday. It evaporated very quickly. Josh Hader watched that happen right in front of his own eyes. By the way, the 5 hits tonight for the Padres, all for Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis. All 5. Right? Tatis 3 for 4, Machado 2 for 3 with the home run, 3 RBIs. Tatis should be an all-star. He just should. I know I'm not going to go die on that hill. I don't overly care, but he should be an all-star. I mean, Seth Lugo, dude, look at his numbers for the year. I know he missed some time. 6 innings, 1 run tonight.
He's been great. Seth Walker's been great. Their pitching staff as a whole has been great.
Really
Take
good.
away the last 2 weeks from the bullpen. Like
maybe Niebla's got to go.
Oh, no, if anything, he needs a promotion.
Well,
he needs a raise in money.
Didn't we get that super the other day? Like maybe it's the pitching coach. I'm like, the pitching coach?
Oh, dude. Oh my God. It's like without Ruben Niebla, without the pitching staff, this team is dead.
Yeah, I don't think it's a pitching coach.
I mean, imagine if they had average pitching this year. Like if they were ranking in the top, what if the pitching staff was like 15th in ERA, right? And then the bullpen was like 16th in ERA. Dude, they'd be 15 games under 500.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if anything, all these hitters should be thanking every single one of those pitchers that come into the clubhouse every single day for at least keeping them within 2 arm lengths of a postseason spot.
Well said. That's exactly right. 100%. All right, let's get to some supers that have rolled in here, like this one from Murray. Thank you again, Murray. Darvish Verlander. I'm effing loving it. LFGSD. Darvish Verlander. Game 1, Friday night, Petco Park. I'm assuming sold out.
Sign me up.
Sign me up. Yeah. We'll be Blind Burrow, right? Yeah, Blind Burrow. Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Short week. We missed Monday, Tuesday. National holiday.
We should always have 4-day weekends.
You say that without a child. It's when you have no responsibility other than like whatever the hell you guys have to send out for a wedding, like cards.
It's tough.
And you want 10-day weekends.
Yeah.
When you got a kid, you're like, yo, I could use some daycare.
Right.
Thank you again, Murray. HBVV, thank you. He says, Manai and Clevenger's lazy as weren't pulling the same rope.
Lazy asses.
Yeah, maybe.
I moved so far past Manai and Clevenger. I know
it feels like forever ago.
They are so far in the rear view
now episode.
Yeah, they're so far in the rear view. I don't really care. Like it was what it was.
Yeah, it sucked. Yeah. This is a great question, Alex. This is what we've been discussing. Thank you for the super. It says at deadline, how many games behind are they buyers? 2, 3. I think I'd say 4. I mean, I'm going to go sell because I'm 4 out with 2 months left. I mean, yeah, it's not ideal. It's really not, but it's not over. So you can always stretch it. Like, well, again, 5, 6, you're probably playing with fire. 3, 4, I think you got to chase it down.
I mean, if you're 5 or 6 out and you're still not over 500 yet.
Yeah, you got to at least be at 500. I think it's going to be a little odd if they're under 5. I think if they're under 500, they're not 2 or 3 out, by the way.
Yeah, you just can't play like 2 or 3 games over 500 until the trade deadline.
Right.
I mean, how many games is till the trade deadline, John? Do you have that in front of you?
It's not a million.
Hold on, I got it right here.
Do you know the
3, 7, 10, 13, 16.
It's August 1st, right?
19, 20, 21. Yeah, 21 games.
If that's right. So, like, for example, if they went 12-9, right? That's not amazing. If they went 12-9, they would be 2 games under 500. Are you buying a 12-9? I don't know. The answer is 13-8 then. If you go 13-8, you're 500, you're buying. And you want to know why? Because the trend lines are good. Because you've won 3 in a row here, you're actually 16-8 in your last 24. If you go 13-8 in your next 21, you're 16-8 over 24, and you're buying. Again, you're not buying Soto.
I would like a 15-5 stretch, please.
That'd be nice. Yeah, sure.
Which would equate to an 18-5 stretch.
And I'd like huge biceps. It's not happening.
Someone clip that. Thank you.
But 15-5 might happen.
Someone clip that and put it on Threads.
Yeah, I don't even know what that even means or how to do that.
It's John's. How long will it? So,
yeah,
we all know, everybody here.
Ask me questions.
John is probably the worst when it comes to technology. Like,
I'm terrible.
Even his wife is like, "Oh my god, try living with him."
Right.
How long legitimately do you think it will take you to figure out Threads?
I don't understand it currently. Now I know how to comment or like. I'm missing a lot. Some people are like unbelievable on this thing already. But I figured out how to post.
Well, yeah, freaking anybody could figure that out.
Right. It wasn't hard.
Jones could figure that out.
Right. Like, I don't know. People, the follows roll in. They just follow us for some reason.
Well, you know why? It's linked to your Instagram.
But I don't have like 10,000 followers on Instagram. I'm some like radio guy.
Neither. I know I have like 700, I think. So it's like not that much. Yeah, I don't know. It's Twitter and Threads. Like, which one will be the supreme?
Should they merge like Live? I mean, nobody saw the Live merger.
Well, it's going to be funny because you got, that Threads is
like Facebook.
It's a Facebook. It's a Meta thing. So it's
Mark Zuckerberg.
So you got Zuckerberg versus Elon.
I know. It's like,
which one will be shittier? Which one will be less shittier? That's the one I want to be on.
James, thank you for your super chat. James says Ohtani went 0 for 10 in the series and lost big time on Tuesday. What that give him the if you can't beat him, join a mentality and sign with the Padres? Is losing to the Padres what it's going to take for Shohei Ohtani to realize he should be with the Padres? And I missed the super from JD Gacha. We'll get to in a moment. I don't think it's going to be as simple as that.
I think for Ohtani's sake, he wants nothing to do with Petco Park. You know what I mean? Like, I saw some funny tweet the other day from Too Much Morton's. He's like, dude, please, for our sake, just don't have Ohtani come here because then it's going to ruin his career.
Right. He won't even. He'll hit like 211 here over like
a 5 ERA.
Yeah,
like 3 Tommy John surgeries. Like, it's just.
Yeah, we can't worry about Ohtani coming here. I mean, no. If you want to have the conversation one day in the office, we can. Sure, we'll talk about it, but we can't worry about that.
Yeah, there's bigger things to talk about.
I love this from JD Gacho. Thank you for the super. Jim has a responsibility. The dog.
Yes, Bentley's a handful.
What do you do with Bentley? I'm serious question. How many times you walk him a day? Did you feed him? I mean, does Aaron do the heavy lifting here? Is she doing feeding? Is she walking?
I'm gonna be real with you on this one.
You don't walk him. You just open the freaking door.
I'm gonna be real with you.
Okay.
I don't do much with Bentley.
You don't do much with anyone. You don't do much.
But Bentley's like
Aaron's dog.
Very low maintenance. He just open the door, go outside, go hang out, go to the bathroom, lay on his chair, lay on his couch, play with his toys. We're good. Me and Aaron walk him, and Aaron's the driving force in that. And then usually Aaron's the one that feeds him because she's home before me and always up before me. So,
so you and Bentley are basically like brothers, but your parents are like other people.
I'll just say this. Aaron does a great job of taking care of both of us.
Dude.
Yeah. Without Aaron, I think me and Bentley would be completely lost and have no idea how to take care of ourselves, honestly.
Well, Bentley can't take care of himself. He's a dog.
Well, no shit. And so it'd be it would be on me. And
right. Like literally, he's not opening a can of Iams.
right. It'd be a lot.
Yeah, he's going to need your help. Let's put
I
it that
help.
way.
I help
And
once
you're
in a
going to need
while.
her help.
I'm just telling you the truth, man. Aaron's the MVP of this household.
Surprise. Shocking.
Shocking. Yeah.
Developing.
Breaking news.
Brouhaha 1323. Super. That is very generous. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, by the
Brouhaha.
way, for gifting the memberships, dude.
Yeah. Dude, clap emojis in the chat if you haven't already for
That's so
Brouhaha.
cool.
That's awesome. And I'm
That's
glad
been very rare in this channel. We don't really push memberships. We really
Right.
don't. If you'd like to become a member, that's great. We love that. But we're not like pushing memberships. We always appreciate, the support, the supers, and the memberships. But thank you for that. He says Hader only increases his free agent value by pitching 3 days in a row. We're going a second inning
Agreed.
relief. I agree with that. His agent must have finally told him to sack up if he wants to cash in after the season. I mean, you put the laugh emoji, but there is some validity there that if the book is, he's more of a me guy than a team guy. And, look at his innings at the end of the year, and it's not going to be significant compared to other closers. And he's not going to really be a guy that goes for a 4-out save for 3 consecutive days. That's a good point. I mean, maybe you change the narrative on that. And maybe it's the difference between getting 4 years and 5 years, or 3 years and 4 years, or 18 a year or 21 a year. I think it's a good point.
You gotta do things that are for the team sometimes rather than for you, because other teams will look at that. If Hader never pitched 3 consecutive days this entire year, you don't think teams would question him there? You don't think teams would be like, look,
Yeah, what's the deal?
Hey, we were gonna give you 100 million, but you don't pitch 3 days in a row.
Yeah,
So
it's more like 80.
instead, so here's 70.
Yeah.
Like sorry, you don't pitch 3 days in a row. We're not gonna give you 100.
I mean, 100's big time. The most in the history of the sport for a closer. So you better be able to do things that no closer is doing.
Edwin Diaz just got it.
I know, and look what happened. Does that give you a reason to believe it happens again?
Well, there's not a World Baseball Classic next year.
But there's also not a pitcher that comes on in relief that, 100 million is a risky proposition.
I would never, ever, ever give a reliever
exactly
$100 million. Just never would. But there is going to be at least one team out there that would do it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, if he can finish this off, stay healthy, and post a 1.11 ERA, which is what he has with 39 saves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's going to push that threshold. I agree with you.
Like if you're, give me a team. If you're the Texas Rangers, right? Their bullpen is their weakest point. They got DeGrom. Now, granted, he's having surgery, so he won't be back till next year. But everything that Bochy has done there has been gold, and that team I think is run great by Chris Young. And
why don't you just do a Rangers wrap-up show?
You don't think that they would be like, hey, here's 100 million to Josh Hader. You put Josh Hader in that bullpen, holy shit.
Hey, Jim just launched a brand new Threads page. It's called the Rangers Wrap-Up Show. It's at Rangers Wrap-Up.
I did.
And immediately following the conclusion of tonight's Padres wrap-up show, you can find us on the Rangers wrap-up show.
Right. Yeah. We're starting out. We have a tiny following, but we're working our way up.
They're good.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We'll be over 5,000 before you know it.
What we'll be talking about tonight is our tough loss in Boston. Despite that 2-run sixth, are you concerned about the direction of the Rangers heading into the break? Comment in the chat. Moises, thank you for the super. He says, please join John on his new platform, MySpace. Do you know I never had it, Moises? Did you have? Jim seems like a guy that would have had MySpace. Although, how old would you have been? 12? 14, maybe?
Dude,
how
MySpace was lit.
It wasn't that lit with the stupid music in the background.
Well, then it turned into like a music platform. And is MySpace even a thing?
I was wondering that. Search for that.
Hold on, MySpace. I think it sold for like a couple $1 billion.
That's ridiculous.
MySpace. Yeah. See, MySpace now is a music platform.
That's great. Would you sell the wrap-up? At what price would you sell the wrap-up show for?
$10.
Like, is Jim gonna? Would you sell out
You 100%. Yeah. Sorry,
I
guys.
know you would. But I
Like,
wonder,
come on.
and you would sell at the dumbest number. You're like $400. I'm out. I'm like, you're an idiot.
No. What would you sell out for?
I'm not selling out, dude. I'm
Yeah,
not.
right.
What do you think? You think we're gonna sell? Who we're gonna sell the wrap up show to? Ben Fadden?
Ben's like, hey, I got $20 in a
Yeah,
t-shirt.
right. Exactly. Who's buying it? I mean, aren't you
Yeah.
buying it for us? You're gonna buy it? That would be like that's like if you go to watch some Star Wars movie and they took out Darth Vader and they put in like Darth Cat. Nobody wants to see Darth Cat. Not that we're like as big as Darth Vader. Like if you replaced us, doesn't that kind of change the show?
Yeah, the name is the name, but it's the people that make it.
Right. It's like when they change characters on sitcoms, I hate that. Like when the main character is a different human being. I'm like, no, Seinfeld's not Seinfeld if you took away Jerry Seinfeld and put in another actor. And
Like,
that's happened. You know what I'm talking about? Like in TV shows when they do that.
oh yeah,
I
all the
hate
time.
that.
Yeah, stupid.
Or movies. That's so dumb. Like, no. Don't do that.
But hey, man, everyone's got a number, dude. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, but okay, $300. Mark, thank you for the super.
250, you got a deal.
All right, we got to do something for Mark. He says, my roommate is in the other room watching, and I need you guys to say, what up, Big Red? Big Red.
What up, Big
man?
Red?
What's going on, Big Red?
Sup, Big Red?
Why do they call you that? Maybe he has red hair.
That'd be a good guess.
Now, how are you watching, Mark? Here's my question. If you're in the chat right now live, just a quick, like, what's it called when you like poll the audience? Maybe a poll. How are you guys watching? Like, who's on phone? Who's on laptop? Who's on TV? Who's on some other device? Phone, laptop, other device?
Other device?
Like a TV. Like, I always assume most people are watching on like a laptop or a phone in bed. But are people watching on television? I think people that watch it back on replay might be watching on television. I watch a ton of YouTube on TV.
I watch YouTube on my phone all the time.
Me too. I spend more time on YouTube than like any other platform.
YouTube is I
love it.
Because the thing with YouTube now, it's becoming like a legitimate streaming show platform where people just do YouTube shows and you just watch that. Like I watch my movie shows on YouTube. I watch everything on YouTube.
Oh, Big Red says, "What's up?" By the way, what's up, Big Red?
What's up, Big Red?
No, I mean YouTube's like it's a really amazing platform. I mean,
this is
a
interesting.
number of you never would have found us without YouTube, correct? I mean, how many people would have never in a million years found us? We could be doing what we're doing on the radio, which is an amazing platform as well with the reach because of cars.
But times be changing.
Well, not. I mean, radio is an amazing medium.
It's amazing
because everyone's got a car,
right? But guess what? Everybody in the car. How many people listen to the radio in the car?
What else are they doing?
Spotify.
Yeah, or I get it, but on Spotify you can find us too.
People listening to Sirius XM or podcasts, right? Like it's just the way. It's not about. It's about more nowadays. Like the thing is,
true. There's a lot.
It's not just about one thing. It's about everything. You know. So like, maybe one day we have this channel be like not just Padres. We do it all, right? But
no.
Yes.
This channel?
We do Padres, but added on. Like Padre Plus.
Well, what was the plus? Like ESPN Plus? No, like the wrap-up show is always going to be a Padres channel. If we did an Aztecs channel, it'd be an Aztecs channel.
No, if we did the wrap-up show, this channel, which is we always do the wrap-up show, plus whatever else. So we add to the show because we talk about more.
No, then we would have another channel. Nobody wants that. It's niche. Nobody wants your stupid take on like Steph Curry here.
I would never do a Steph Curry take on this channel.
But what would you do? Give me a hypothetical real quick if it was wrap-up show plus. Like what could happen? Like
John and Jim.
Yeah, but people here don't want that.
We're John and Jim.
But they don't want like, the Major League Soccer team signed Ronaldo. Well, great. These are Padres fans.
I'm sure there's a lot of Padres fans here that are San Diego sports fans as well.
I'm really going to bud you. Mark, thank you for the very generous. Was there a sticker, a super sticker that came in here from Mark?
Thank you, Mark.
We can't see the stickers, Mark. That's very generous. That's very kind. I was just rolling through how people are watching. Everyone watches a different way. Everyone watches
I saw somebody watch on
a lot of TV.
Roku.
That's how I watch. That's how I watch with the Roku, like smart TV.
Okay.
I remember my first time using a television from the 2000s. Alex, thank you for the super. Says YouTube sports podcast over ESPN now. That's what's happening. It's gotten so niched down that there's a lot of people that get their, like, if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, you're getting your content on YouTube because there's probably 10, 12, 20 channels that are providing it. Lakers, same thing. Every team. It's like, are you really going to watch ESPN to get your Padres news? No. Nobody in the world's doing that.
I never watch like ESPN shows or FS1 shows live. If I want to hear someone talk about a specific topic, I search it on YouTube and I listen to that specific segment. I never watch a full show. I never do that.
Right. No, I know. I'm with you. We've done a little bit of this, by the way. I know we're off topic. We'll get out of here in a second. I do need to tell you about Underdog Fantasy, but you could do collabs with other streamers. We have occasionally. We've dipped our toe in that water. Not really on the wrap-up show. We've gone elsewhere. Like we've been on someone else's stream. I'm not bringing on like the Mets blogger. It might be a smart way to grow the channel, to be honest, but we're not really. I just want Padres fans.
Yeah, got it.
Jim wants to talk like, San Diego weather. I don't know. I want to know. Okay,
I told you.
I wasn't listening. I'm on Threads. Guys, you got to support our partner, Underdog Fantasy, the best place to play daily fantasy. If you play the seventh inning stretch, you can draft your Major League Baseball team, and you can win part of $150,000 in prizes. They set your lineup every single week. No setup necessary. No waivers, no trades. All you do is draft. $7 to enter, $150,000 in total prizes. Sign up now through July 14th at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app. Use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Again, promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Get a 100% deposit match up to $100. In addition to the daily drafts, they've got pick'ems going on right now, as you can see on the screen. You can do your drafts across all sports, baseball, PGA, NFL once it starts up again. Pick'ems are going on right now. You can do KBO pick'ems. Padres aren't playing tomorrow. Take higher on Chan Ho Park. By the way, no relation, I'm assuming, because Chan Ho Park was a pitcher. But is Chan Ho Park tomorrow going to have 2 hits plus runs plus RBIs? He could. That's a possibility. So you take Chan Ho Park and you take Ellie De La Cruz over a half single. And if that hits, $50 wager pays $150. Simple as that. And I'm gonna make that wager right now. Ellie De La Cruz higher than a half single, and Chan Ho Park higher than 2 hits plus runs plus RBIs in the KBO. Done. 50 plays, 150, UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Don't have to deposit $100. You can deposit $10. Get a 100% deposit match up to $100.
I wasn't listening to you at all, but did you see?
I know you're not.
De La Cruz, the bat check and then he had a home run, or did you already say that?
No, I didn't say that. What happened?
Go back and watch Ellie De La Cruz. He got checked for potentially using a
illegal George Brett situation,
like an illegal bat, and
tonight?
Tonight. And I want to say that same at bat, or maybe a different at bat later in the game, he hits a home run.
And they said check it again. Okay, let me watch this. By the way, we're checking bats. I mean, come on, that is so like freaking Buck Showalter. Come on, man. He pointed and said check the bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Like, don't mess with, don't piss someone off. Like this guy. This guy's like a star of stars.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Also, in the time that you were talking, I figured out how to do GIFs on Threads.
Tell me how, seriously.
Okay, so you go to You're about to like type
I
something.
can't see that. Your camera sucks.
Shut up. So like,
We
look
can't
at
see that.
there's like a world little icon.
There's a world icon. Yeah, where's that? Top left?
No, bottom left.
I see top left. Okay, world icon. I don't see a world icon.
You don't have a world icon?
No.
Hold on. My phone sucks. Okay. There's a world icon. Click it.
Where are you to get to the world icon?
I'm posting something. So like you hit the post button and then you're
Okay.
about to type. And then the bottom left corner, there's like a, I don't know, like a world thing.
Oh, I don't get that. Maybe you have the new version.
It's called Tenor. Do you have Tenor on your phone?
What?
Fuck.
Is that another app?
Download the app Tenor and it links to your phone. So you can do GIFs. I swear to God, I have to help this guy do everything.
I mean, it's too much. It's too much. Like, I got to have like a medical degree.
No, you don't. You just have to have like a
Tenor.
brain.
Exactly. Okay. I'll download Tenor. Let me get back to a few supers here that have rolled in. Then we're going to get out of here. So if you want to make sure we get your comment, you can get your super in. Alex says, Jim wants a Warriors wrap-up show, John. Just kidding, LOL.
I might just do one and I don't care if anybody watches me. I'm just going to do one for my own.
People, are you kidding? You should be talking about Adam Seiko hitting a 3 in the summer league.
I've never seen you more excited than that moment.
I don't see Tenor, by the way.
Probably like Adam Seiko's 3 with the Warriors in a summer league game, and then Lamont Butler hitting that game winner against FAU.
They're one and the same. Tenor, Tenor?
Tenor.
It doesn't show up.
No, on the App Store?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second here.
You find that for me, seriously. Send me a link. JD Gacho says, and thank you, JD Gacho, I'm down for Dubs chat if Jim's okay with UCSB chat.
Tenor
JD Gacho, start a channel, dude. That's the beauty of it. Start a channel. There'll be people there for it. There's people there for everything.
Type in Tenor GIF.
We could do this offline.
It should say GIF keyboard, and then you just download it, and then it just links to your phone
automatically. Wow, you're hooking me up. I just downloaded it.
Great, awesome.
Okay, I'm just trying to see if anything came in here in the chat. Okay, we're back Friday night on the wrap-up show. It's the next time the Padres play. We'll be with you following Game 1 down at Petco between the Padres and the Mets. Join us, by the way, tomorrow on the radio 3 to 6. We'll be talking Padres baseball, obviously, and then Friday from the Blind Burrow. We'd love to see you guys out at the Blind Burrow. Come hang with us, have a drink, have a taco, guac, chips, whatever. Join us. It's a block from the ballpark, 7th and J. So join us from the Blind Burrow. Again, if you're here, please subscribe. You're on Padres content for you. Smash the like button for us. We really do appreciate that. Find us on Twitter and find us on Friends or whatever the hell it is. Threads. At John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Support our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, our title sponsor.
And John and Jim on Threads.
Oh, yeah. We'll follow you back if you follow John and Jim on Threads. Mark Nimitz, our title sponsor. If you have insurance needs, get in contact with Mark. There's a link to Mark's website in the description down below. You get a free quote online from Mark Nimitz or ORA.organic. Will, thank you for your support of this channel. If you're looking to get healthier, they have plant-based nutritional products. Find them out by clicking the link down below. And then Underdog Fantasy, again, promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP, get a 100% deposit match up to $100. All right, good show. Good weekend or good week or whatever it is for the Padres as they sweep the Angels. They've moved to within 5 games of 500. We will see you Friday night and back tomorrow on John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Thanks.